Animal Crossing! New Horizons is the new title in the Animal Crossing franchise, and it's finally here, and it is glorious. The lead up for the game has been immense. Social media is going crazy. Most diehard fans are going to be knee-deep in fruit trading already, but a lot of people are flinching at quite a high price tag, or just confused at what the game is. But now I have my hands on it, I can answer all your wonderful questions. Does it live up to the hype? Does it do anything differently? Does it work for new players? And why is it important in the current times? Let's start with first impressions. The game looks great. From GameCube to 3DS, it's never really had the chance to go full HD, and now it has. It adds this kind of glossy sheen over the already consistently wonderful art style and animations. The game is charming to unbelievable peaks, as you might expect, to the point that even the way they read out all the little letters you type almost made me cry. It's been a rough few weeks. Tom Nook is still making questionable business comments. They've also included Rossetti, who was used before to scare children to stop quitting without saving, using what I can only describe as military scare tactics. It has that same relaxing feeling, and it mostly plays the same as previous games, so if you're a classic fan, you won't feel alienated or anything too brand new. However, there is one big, fascinating change that it does that flips the whole game on its head. So let's talk changes. Previously on this channel, I made a video about Animal Crossing and how it's a sort of fantasy. The games have always been about fantasy. I guess now it's more about being able to fly in an airplane and leaving your house. Previously, it would do this by inserting you into a town of a bunch of villagers. There's a museum, there's a shop, and you pay off a loan, you fill the museum, etc. It captured that urge that I think we all have, which is when you want to kind of just run away somewhere brand new with no obligations and just start afresh. New Horizons has the same kind of fantasy, but it does it a different way. You start with just a tent, and then you can start creating a museum, you can build a shop, all using crafting materials that are new to the game. This way you're not inserting yourself into an existing town like previously, or taking over a town as mayor like a New Leaf. You create a community from the ground up, and now what used to be a start point is now a distant goal. One problem I found was that the game didn't tell you that you're essentially locked off the rest of the island and can't cross any of the rivers. You start off with only a third of the island being available, and with people kind of planning out where they want their houses, that's kind of misleading. But otherwise, the progression of how you add new things to the town is inserted in quite seamlessly, one after the other, so it's not too overwhelming. I found on my first day I was trying to run around and do as much as possible and achieve as much as possible, but the thing about Animal Crossing is it's in real time. And so the game restricts you to do little small things at a time to kind of soothe you into the fact that this is a very different gameplay style than what you're used to. This isn't a game that you can complete in 2 weeks, it's a game that you can be playing for 2 years, at least. If we survive, that is. The new crafting system works quite well, and they give you a smartphone, which was initially quite jarring tone-wise, but the UI is so cute that I fell in love immediately. One thing you can track on that is Nook Miles, which is a new kind of currency the game adds. Instead of progressing by making money by like buying and selling things, which seems quite cold for the way the game is, with Nook Miles you can earn it by just doing things. Whether it's catching fish, you're talking to people, you're digging up fossils, it's an old trick to try and keep you progressing in the game, but it's also just a nicer way to play the game that isn't just so money-based. I also think it's a good way to guide new players into what they should be doing. And while we're on the topic, does New Horizons work for new players? Wild World, City Folk and New Leaf were popular, sure, but since the last release the growth of anticipation and social media buzz has just grown exponentially, and that means a lot of people want to get in on the action. The game breaks down the mechanics and the controls pretty simply, and the start of the game has a lot of mechanics that is totally brand new, so old players and new players are learning with everyone and no one feels like they're not really in on something. However, the game does have its faults when it comes to the small things with daily life. Some of the movements and actions were quite janky for me, as it kind of has been in previous titles. Joysticks were swapped for no particular reason, there was button maps that just didn't really work smoothly for me at all. And usually this is an easy fix for games, but Animal Crossing New Horizons has basically non-existent settings. The only settings they have are only access from the main menu, and it's asking Tom Nook 2 questions about their phone app and deleting save data. For a game that's so caring and inclusive, the lack of accessibility and ease of access there is kind of sad to see. So, should you be playing Animal Crossing? Even with its flaws, I'd say that everyone should be playing Animal Crossing. There's nobody in our current world who couldn't get some use out of somewhere to escape to collect some fruit, chop down some wood and chat to a friendly animal for an hour after a long day. Animal Crossing confuses external viewers because it's like barely a game. It's a utility. Like, it should be given in those baby boxes that the Scottish Government give out. You know, it should be like a human right that you get from birth. New Horizons has the same feeling the old games have, plus adding some new improvements and making my island and my town feel more like mine, and something that I should be proud of. It puts you on the long haul, and it sets a distant marker to head towards. Even when life is in complete chaos and I feel like I'm falling apart, I still have that marker that I'm working towards. I still have this. Also, does anyone have any cherries? My island only has peaches and got some other stuff. I need some cherries. Can you cut? We'll hook up the details later. If you like the video, make sure to share it around and put in the comments the name of your island if you do play Animal Crossing, and I'll rate and review it personally. I'll try and be gentle about it.